Stephanie McMahon has long been one of the most influential figures in WWE, shaping the company both on screen as a charismatic villain and behind the scenes as a powerful executive. As the daughter of Vince McMahon, she grew up in the spotlight and became a central part of WWE's storytelling, often blurring the lines between fiction and reality. However, not all of her moments have aged well. Over the years, certain controversial angles, questionable storylines, and real-life incidents have become points of embarrassment. These are the moments WWE would rather fans forget, despite their place in wrestling history. The Halloween Kiss with Eric Bischoff. In 2002, WWE's brand split was in full swing. Stephanie McMahon served as the babyface general manager of WWE SmackDown, while Eric Bischoff played the heel general manager of WWE Raw. Their on-screen rivalry was intense, and the company did everything possible to make fans believe there was genuine animosity between the two. On a special Halloween episode of SmackDown, WWE took this rivalry to an uncomfortable place. Stephanie, dressed as a witch, was approached by someone wearing a Vince McMahon mask. When the mask was removed, it revealed Eric Bischoff, who unexpectedly grabbed Stephanie and forced a kiss on her. At first, she resisted, but then the segment portrayed her as enjoying it. The scene lasted about 15 seconds, showing Bischoff kissing Stephanie on her desk, and afterward, it was never addressed again on television. In today's more PG and family-friendly WWE environment, this moment is seen as cringeworthy and inappropriate, especially given that Stephanie is now known as a mother of three daughters. It's one of those incidents WWE would prefer fans to forget, as it does not align with the more professional image the company now projects. The controversial Unforgiven 2002 segment. Just a short while after the Halloween incident, another awkward segment unfolded at WWE Unforgiven 2002. Stephanie and Bischoff's feud continued, and when Stephanie's SmackDown team lost to Bischoff's Raw team, she was forced to endure a humiliating punishment on live television. Two women entered the ring and teased Stephanie by rubbing her arms and shoulders, though nothing overly graphic occurred. Bischoff then sent them away and brought out Rikishi dressed in a purple dress, intending to embarrass her further. The entire angle was presented as punishment for losing the match, and the commentary played it off for laughs. However, in hindsight, this segment is uncomfortable to watch. It's an example of the kind of over-the-top humiliation angles WWE was known for during the early 2000s, which do not align with the company's current PG and corporate image. With Stephanie now remembered as one of WWE's top executives, this is definitely a moment the company wants fans to overlook. The love triangle, Chyna, Triple H, and Stephanie. Perhaps the most infamous and personal controversy linked to Stephanie McMahon involves her real-life relationship with Triple H and how it contributed to the downfall of Chyna's WWE career. During the late 1990s, Chyna was one of WWE's biggest stars, breaking barriers by competing against male wrestlers and becoming an icon of the Attitude Era. At the time, Chyna was in a long-term relationship with Triple H. However, during a storyline romance between Triple H and Stephanie on TV, their on-screen chemistry reportedly turned into a real-life affair. Chyna later revealed in interviews that she discovered a love letter from Stephanie to Triple H, which confirmed her suspicions that they had been seeing each other behind her back. According to Chyna, when she confronted Vince McMahon about the situation, he offered her a new contract to smooth things over, but shortly after she was sent home and eventually informed via fax that WWE no longer needed her services. This marked the abrupt end of her WWE career, and she was never given a proper farewell or Hall of Fame induction during her lifetime. Many fans still believe that Chyna's career was sabotaged because of the behind-the-scenes drama involving Stephanie and Triple H. While Stephanie and Triple H went on to become WWE's ultimate power couple, Chyna's life spiraled into turmoil. This chapter remains one of the most controversial aspects of Stephanie's personal and professional history. The rumored Randy Savage controversy. One of the strangest and most persistent rumors in wrestling history is the alleged involvement between Stephanie McMahon and Randy Savage. Savage left WWE in 1994 to join WCW, and for decades, there was speculation that Vince McMahon harbored personal animosity toward Savage. Unlike other legends such as Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior, and Bret Hart, all of whom were eventually welcomed back, Savage was never brought back during his lifetime. Some fans and insiders theorize this was because of an alleged affair between Savage and Stephanie around the time she turned 18. The rumor has never been proven and has always remained pure speculation, but its persistence has fueled endless conspiracy theories. While there is no evidence to support the claim, the fact that Vince never reconciled with Savage, even after reconciling with so many other former rivals, has kept the rumor alive. WWE has never addressed it publicly, and it remains one of those uncomfortable topics that the company would prefer to avoid altogether. The struggle to rewrite WWE's image. Another aspect of Stephanie's career that has drawn criticism is her role in attempting to reshape WWE's public image. As WWE moved from the edgy, adult-themed content of the Attitude Era into the PG era, Stephanie was at the forefront of efforts to brand WWE as family-friendly entertainment. In 2018, during a talk at the Web Summit in Lisbon, Stephanie compared WWE's growth ambitions to the Walt Disney Company, saying, "There's no reason why we can't be as big or bigger than Disney." Many fans and media critics found the comment tone-deaf, given WWE's long history of risque and violent content. This effort to present WWE as wholesome entertainment has been met with skepticism, with critics accusing the company of whitewashing its controversial past to appeal to advertisers and investors. Some argue that the attempt to compare WWE to Disney feels disingenuous, as the company still occasionally features edgy content while promoting itself as family-friendly. While Stephanie's vision helped WWE secure major corporate sponsorships and expand its global brand, the criticism highlights the delicate balance the company faces between honoring its past and marketing itself as mainstream entertainment. Controversial international partnerships. Stephanie also played a key role in WWE's partnership with the Saudi General Sports Authority, which led to events such as WWE Crown Jewel in Saudi Arabia. This decision drew widespread criticism due to Saudi Arabia's human rights record, particularly regarding its treatment of women and journalists. The controversy escalated in 2018 after the murder of journalist Jamal Khashoggi, with many companies cutting ties with Saudi Arabia. Despite the backlash from media outlets, fans, and even WWE talent such as John Cena and Daniel Bryan, both of whom reportedly refused to participate, WWE moved forward with Crown Jewel. Stephanie defended the decision in interviews, describing it as a tough business decision. In 2019, WWE even expanded its partnership with the Saudi General Entertainment Authority to run more events through 2027, which many saw as a move to stabilize investor confidence despite ethical concerns. This decision showed WWE's prioritization of business interests over public perception, and as a leading executive at the time, Stephanie became closely tied to the controversy. Legacy of a polarizing figure. Stephanie McMahon's career is a tapestry of triumphs, power plays, and controversies. On one hand, she has helped revolutionize WWE's approach to women's wrestling, modernized its corporate structure, and played an essential role in transforming the company into a publicly traded global entertainment powerhouse. On the other hand, her name is attached to some of WWE's most infamous backstage stories, questionable creative angles, and polarizing corporate decisions, from awkward on-screen moments with Eric Bischoff to personal scandals involving China, and from controversial business partnerships to the long-standing Randy Savage rumors. Stephanie's journey has never been without drama. WWE has benefited immensely from her leadership, but parts of her past are quietly swept under the rug to preserve the company's polished image. As one of WWE's most recognizable figures, Stephanie McMahon's story is a reminder that great power often comes with great controversy. While her accomplishments are undeniable, the shadow of her most controversial moments continues to follow her, ensuring that her legacy will always remain one of WWE's most debated chapters. From on-screen victim to on-screen villain, after being introduced as a vulnerable character, Stephanie's persona took a sharp turn. WWE began portraying her as manipulative, cunning, and power-hungry, traits that would define much of her on-screen career. In one of her most infamous early matches, Stephanie faced Jacqueline on the March 30th, 2000 edition of WWE SmackDown. Incredibly, it was Stephanie's very first match, and it was for the WWE Women's Championship. With Triple H and the D-Generation X stable interfering, Stephanie pulled off an upset win. While it advanced her villainous character, many fans felt it undermined the credibility of the women's title. This pattern of controversial decisions became a hallmark of Stephanie's character. She thrived on being the antagonist, using her family name to gain advantages and making fans despise her, exactly what a great heel is supposed to do. The real-life rule she broke: dating a wrestler. Away from the cameras, Vince McMahon reportedly had a personal rule. His children were not to date WWE talent. While Shane McMahon abided by this guideline, Stephanie quietly began dating Triple H in the early 2000s. At first, Vince disapproved, worried it could create tension backstage and disrupt business. But as the relationship grew serious, he eventually accepted it. The couple married in 2003 and went on to have 3 daughters. In hindsight, their partnership has been one of the most influential power unions in wrestling history, with both playing central roles in shaping modern WWE. Their real-life romance ironically began thanks to an over-the-top storyline. In late 1999, Triple H kidnapped and married a drugged Stephanie at a Las Vegas drive-thru chapel, sabotaging her planned wedding to test. While wildly inappropriate by today's standards, the angle forced them to work closely together and sparked their real connection. It's a storyline they now jokingly admit is hard to explain to their children. The rise of the authority figure. By the mid-2000s, Stephanie transitioned into a more permanent corporate and on-screen authority role. She became a creative writer behind the scenes before being promoted to various executive positions. On television, she and Triple H became known as The Authority, a power couple who ruled WWE storylines with arrogance and control. This era cemented Stephanie's persona as one of WWE's most effective villains. She delivered sharp, biting promos and often humiliated wrestlers on the microphone. Fans loved to hate her, and she relished that reaction. It also blurred the lines between fiction and reality. Fans knew she had real power behind the scenes, which made her on-screen dominance feel authentic. Public relations. Misstep: philanthropy is the future of marketing. As Stephanie gained more influence, she also became the public face of WWE's corporate image. She spearheaded initiatives around branding, partnerships, and charity work. But one particular comment drew backlash. In a tweet, Stephanie once wrote, "Philanthropy is the future of marketing. It's the way brands are going to win." While she likely intended to highlight WWE's charitable efforts, the wording made it sound like doing good was simply a marketing tactic. Critics accused her of being tone-deaf, and the quote became widely mocked. It was a reminder that even savvy executives can stumble when trying to balance corporate strategy with sincerity. The women's revolution and a changed landscape. Despite past controversies, Stephanie became an important figure in championing women's wrestling during the WWE Women's Revolution of the mid-2000s. As women like Charlotte Flair, Sasha Banks, Becky Lynch, and Bayley rose to prominence, Stephanie used her platform to promote equality and better opportunities for female talent. While some fans felt WWE took too much credit for the organic rise of women's wrestling, Stephanie's support undeniably helped push corporate resources and media attention toward the movement. Today, women regularly headline major events, something unimaginable back when Stephanie won the women's title in her very first match. Sibling rivalry: Shane versus Stephanie. Behind the scenes, the McMahon family's internal dynamics have always fascinated fans. After leaving WWE in 2010 to pursue other ventures, Shane McMahon returned in 2016 to huge fanfare. However, his comeback did not lead to significant backstage power. Stephanie and Triple H were widely seen as Vince's chosen successors, holding major executive roles, while Shane's influence dwindled. Over time, Shane reportedly became increasingly isolated from decision-making and eventually left WWE again in 2022. This perceived power struggle highlighted how firmly Stephanie had positioned herself within the company's hierarchy, while Shane's more laid-back approach ultimately cost him long-term influence. Departure from WWE leadership. In 2022, after Vince briefly retired amid controversy, Stephanie was named co-CEO alongside Nick Khan. It seemed like the culmination of her decades-long journey. But just months later, after Vince returned to power, Stephanie abruptly resigned from WWE altogether. Her departure surprised many, and while she cited wanting to focus on family, it also reflected the turbulent nature of WWE's corporate politics. For someone once seen as the heir apparent, stepping away marked the end of an era and possibly showed that even a McMahon isn't immune to the shifting tides of the wrestling business. The complicated legacy of Stephanie McMahon. Stephanie McMahon's story is a tapestry of contradictions. She began as a frightened damsel in distress, transformed into one of wrestling's most despised villains, then became a powerful business executive who championed social causes in women's wrestling. She made bold moves, controversial choices, and public mistakes, and through it all, remained one of WWE's most recognizable figures. Her journey also underscores the unique challenges of being a McMahon. Born into wrestling royalty, she had opportunities others could only dream of, but also had to fight constant skepticism that she had simply been handed everything. Whether fans love her or hate her, there's no denying she left an indelible mark on WWE's history. Final thoughts today: Stephanie McMahon lives largely outside the spotlight, raising her three daughters with Triple H, while her husband continues to shape WWE's creative direction. She may no longer be an active part of the company, but her fingerprints are all over the product that exists today, from the rise of women's wrestling to the modern corporate structure of WWE itself. Stephanie's story is ultimately one of transformation. From her bizarre on-screen kidnapping to becoming WWE's top female executive, she experienced every extreme the wrestling world could offer. Love her or loathe her, she will always be remembered as one of the most pivotal and controversial figures in WWE history,